This is the sky on Sunday with the heartbeat clouds. They almost seem normal anymore. I haven't all the super strange stuff staring at you. Obviously staring at you, rather. But they are not normal. Well, they are not natural. They appear to be the norm these days, but they are not natural. Supposedly, this is wait a minute, this coming from the Gulf Coast area, where the Gulf of Mexico, Gulfport, Mississippi, and supposedly BP is still wreaking havoc because on spring break, now I got this from the news, I wasn't there, but on spring break, supposedly the kids got tar all over them going in the water in Florida and such. So BP is still on the naughty list in this area and always will be, I'm sure. But they're still wreaking havoc because supposedly the kids got oil all over them. And this has been a year. What is that? I just, there's nasty stuff in these clouds. Yeah, I'll see that. That too is getting to be the norm. There's things that move in these clouds. Get a camera and watch them sometimes. They have whole movie scenes, usually negative. And I sure hope that they're doing that with nanoparticles and not real little demons. But we do have that technology of nanoparticles. They can program, they have microscopic things that that can communicate with each other. They have sensors to sense what's going on around them. That they communicate with each other, and they communicate with the ground or space-based communications, so that they can be programmed or change their program. And I think they may have even, I saw in a patent from the 70s, I think, they may even be able to program the molecules of nature. It wouldn't even have to be artificial type stuff introduced, just the programming would be the artificial. What a time we live in. Just let you watch it grow and change here for a second. It's disgusting, and it's all over the sky. It appears to be a blank blue area until you look at it through the camera. No, that blue is not blank. If you video very often, you may have noticed that the clouds seem to have little worlds in them. There's all kind of stuff going on in these clouds, and it's not random. You see how that's grown and changed, and other, it's not white, but it's light colored stuff growing around it. Evil infections in these clouds. Looks like fungus, but it's not. There's an intelligence about it. I don't think it's working on its own, but it's these little particles communicate with each other, and when that pink stuff is in the sky, the black and the pink really interact. Get your camera and look up there at it someday. It'll scare you to death. But this is our world. This is our world today. I've heard people call them demonic particles. Well, I think it's demonic plans, but I think it's technology that has been twisted for demonic purposes. This same technology could be used to make the earth a paradise, to have no hunger, to grow food anywhere, but instead it's used for the opposite purposes. It's used to wreak havoc. Good Lord. Inflict suffering and damage and death. Weather modification is real, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. Mind control is real too. If you haven't, I suggest you research how the TVs work, and the low frequencies, very low frequencies, and how the light patterns work. But they are, when we watch TV, they are instituting their brainwashing, not just with subliminal messages, but with the waves, the radio waves themselves, and the frequencies. Of course, they also use the subliminal messages. And look up SSSS, that's Silent Sound Spread Spectrum. They used it in the Gulf War. I don't know if some of you may have seen the tape where all the Iraqis and Kuwait came up out of the ground and surrendered. They used the silent sound frequency, and you can't hear it, but your mind does. It's patent. I'll have to make a tape on that. It's a patent, and they made it commercial. My Lord, a commercial patent, nonetheless. This is in your sky. It's in all of our skies. I find this to be disgusting. Get your camera. Start looking for yourself. This is not random movement here. These are not Mother Nature's clouds. And these, I call them creepy crawlers. The gray stuff, the stuff that moves faster than the rest of the clouds, I believe that must be the nanoparticles, because, well, I'm sure there's more than that. But that stuff really does some shows in the in the clouds if you're watching. It's actually really disgusting. Do y'all see this? I find it disgusting. Frightening. But it's something that we all need to be aware of. This is a picture of the sky right here. That is disgusting. And we've stayed in the same spot. Started out to be a much smaller black spot, though it's still a creepy crawler. That's what I call them, the creepy crawlers. And it infects everywhere. It just gets everywhere. And and you usually see flashing behind it. I believe that we have a plasma atmosphere now. The ionosphere is plasma. And the plasma is where mostly the molecules, the atoms have been, the bonds have been broken, and it consists of ions and electrons, just charged particles. Therefore, the electricity and electromagnetic frequencies can work in it. It responds. Its behavior is determined by the electricity and the electromagnetic frequencies. And HAARP was designed to work in the ionosphere, called an ionospheric heater, a microwave for the ionosphere. Well, all this spraying that they've been doing for decades, that thing is growing. All the spraying they've been doing for decades has, I believe, made lots of ions in the air, because they spray ionizing particles. And the whole point is to make ions, because then their electromagnetic waves can do whatever they want with it. It becomes manipulable and malleable to them. I think that they have accomplished in making an artificial ionosphere all the way to the ground level. So they can use those radio waves anywhere from the ground level up. And it will have the microwave effect on you when the energy's high. All those people aren't aware of it yet, but just like it's the microwave effect, just like the police that used to microwave weapons, or the weapons in Iraq. The microwave works on the water in your cells, and you can get sick standing out in this stuff when the energy's high. It makes makes my fingers ache. It makes your throat and mouth feel funny, sort of like acid reflux. It can make you nauseated, headaches. And these will all be attributed to something else, not the energy in the air that's microwaving our bodies. And since they've ramped up the frequency with all this different stuff, and they have ramped up the frequency, it's more of a danger, and more people will be getting sick with it. People think I'm nuts when I mention it, but I can't help it. It's a life-threatening issue to me, and a horrible one, because people are so unaware of it. Outside is not good for you anymore. They have enslaved Mother Nature. And when you see a manipulated atmosphere, you need to stay inside. Now, this is Sunday, March 27th, 7 miles from the Gulf of Mexico, in Gulfport, Mississippi. Oh, I forgot one other thing. When you make ions all the way to the ground like this, is an artificial ionosphere. That also means that our atmosphere is becoming more of a plasma all the way to the ground, which explains the thickness and of the things we see in the camera, the thickness and and it's starting to get where you try to focus in on something and it'll whoosh, go in and out and blur. It's the atmosphere that's changing and becoming a plasma. Now there's all different kind of plasmas, but the one thing they have in common is they are all easily manipulated by electromagnetic frequent waves and electrical waves. One definition of plasma is that their behavior is determined by those. But it's the density of the air has a lot of unstable particles. That's why we'll see sparks and stuff and think you're out of the corner of your eye, much more so than ever before. And why is that sun melting to the south there? Another thing about a plasma is it has to have a container in order to have a shape, and they can use electromagnetic frequencies and such to make a container for it, but it'll melt out like you see the sun doing there. And when the frequencies fluctuate, the container fluctuates. But why is it going that way? This is not the world of our childhood any longer. For those of us old enough to be out of it, whether we are or not. Creepy crawlers in the sky. Creepy crawlers in the clouds. Electromagnetic combined with chemical manipulation of our environment. Now I see how they work together. Have to spray all those ionizing particles in the air so that we can have our electromagnetic waves be effective, more effective, easily effective. Y'all have a good week. From Gulfport, Mississippi, 7 miles from the Gulf of Mexico. You be you, I be me. That's my YouTube name. Signing off.